To get into some more details on what this government shutdown means right now, starting at midnight tonight, federal workers, the 800,000 federal workers who are going to be furloughed, automatically have to shut off all of their BlackBerries. They're not allowed to make calls on government cell phones. They're not allowed to send any emails from that moment on. If they do, it is actually a crime. So that's going to have to stop starting out tonight. Going over the weekend, as we said, national parks and monuments closed. And this is a big impact right here. National park officials estimate that about 1.5 million people visit national parks every weekend. Immediate impact for all those people as well. And for those federal workers, the average federal worker makes about $1,400 a week. The ones who are not essential will not be receiving that right away. And that's going to have a huge economic impact. The total impact there for the 800,000 federal employees, $1.1 billion coming out of the economy. Even if it's made up later, that is going to be a real hit. So we now want to go back to Jon Karl on Capitol Hill on where things stand. I'm having a little trouble with this, John. But John, Jake talked a little bit about those negotiators who worked until 3 a.m. Coming out of those meetings, Democrats and Republicans couldn't even agree on what the disagreement was.
Oh, absolutely. And both sides sound very pessimistic this morning, George. You know, Democrats say the differences over the amount of the cuts have been resolved. But I just spoke to a top Republican on the House side saying that they have not been resolved. They're still about $6.5 billion apart, and that they still have significant disagreements on policy. So at this point, it looks like they will call the president at 10:30 this morning, but the news will not be good.
The news will not be good. And a big part of the big question there is whether House Speaker John Boehner, who told me time and time again he doesn't want to shut down, but can he sell the deal to his conference?
Well, and on that, they actually say that they're optimistic that if they can get a deal, if they can get the spending cuts up near that $40 billion amount, if they can get some resolution on these policy, that they will be able to pass it in the House. But George, they're not there yet.
And John, finally, we only have a couple of seconds left, and this is so hard to read, but what's your gut tell you? Where is this going? Is the government going to shut down?
My gut is that we'll have a last-minute deal here, but let me tell you, George, I wouldn't put a lot of money on that.
Okay, John, I'm with you on that one.